If you want to become the most likable person in the room, I'm going to share with you one of the most powerful and most established methods for making friends and getting people to like you. But listen closely, because if you use this method incorrectly, like I did for many years, you will end up being liked, but not by the people you want to be liked by. And it could lead to some of the most disastrous relationships of your life. So straight up, this method to becoming extremely likable, which you'll find in many communication books, is quite simple. It's to be a good conversationalist, which means being a good listener and encouraging people to talk about themselves. And this makes people like you because it makes them feel important, like you genuinely care about them. So it sounds pretty harmless, right? Well, it depends. In Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he gives countless examples of how people have used this method specifically when they wanted to impress someone. He states that by sitting there and letting the other person do most of the talking, mostly about themselves, you will become extremely liked, admired, and even given lavish gifts. Typically, the more you let someone talk about themselves, the more they will like you. But most of these examples were about building relationships with more formal acquaintances. Maybe in the workplace, where you're trying to impress a potential employer, which is where I think this method applied in this specific way would work best. Because in other situations, where you're trying to cultivate more meaningful relationships with people, yes, I do think you should be an attentive listener and ask questions to show that you do really care. But you should also be checking whether the other person is also doing the same for you. Because in my experience, if you meet someone who is okay with mostly just talking about themselves while you just sit there and listen, yes, they are going to end up really liking you. But it's also probably going to become a one-sided and quite unfulfilling relationship centered around them. Remember, it's not just about trying to be likable, but also about trying to establish whether you like and enjoy spending time with them.